Remember, poker always moves in a clockwise fashion.
Raise.
Those are Johnson's cards. And Dave Colclough, 2 pots, 2
6,000
raises.
more, 8
This
total.
time it's a 6,000 pump from the small blind. And look what he's found.
Looks like the first pot's going to be just good advertising for him. He's probably not going to lose. Brian's decided to lay it down straight away.
Folded in the big blind, and Johnson did not compete with the suited king. And Colclough was really praying for some action there, but he'll be happy to take that pot.
It's a little bit early to be getting too excited with the aces, unfortunately. Unless you walk into a big hand as well, you're not going to get a great deal of action.
Yeah, I mean, how do you acquire chips in this first level with the blinds so low? Only 3,000 in the pot before the players see their cards.
I think the first level is going to be much more a feeling out level. It's going to be a bit difficult to get a lot of chips in the first level unless you get a really big hand straight after someone else has a big hand as well. I think one of the advantages that Colclough might have is he's going to know roughly where he is in the big pots. He's going to be able to lay hands down. So if he gets a half-decent hand, he's going to know when someone else goes all in that they're probably going to have him beaten. Some of the other players might be, their inexperience might force them to put their chips in.
Played a few hands, and Brian Johnson looks like he's going to wait now. Moved around the table. That is David Webb. He's yet to move a chip, nor has Stan Gerber. And Colclough is absolutely on fire. I mean, I guess he's got some cards, but is this his strategy?
It could well be. He could be going straight out for straight out of the to go for first prize here. The other guys are going to be wondering what he keeps raising with. They're thinking he's taking advantage of them here.
Well, a pair of sevens is a raising hand, but from the other player's point of view, they think Colclough's a maniac. Dave Colclough has raised each of the first 3 hands.
Exactly.
And Arthur Manfredi on Colclough's left is chatting friendly, but I think he's saying in an undertone, you do that one more time when I pick up something and you're going to get repopped.
Absolutely. Dave's actually unlucky. The 2 hands that he's had, if he'd have had either of them against Alex in the other pot, it'd have been in front. So he's just got his hands at the wrong time.
Colclough, he's won 2 out of 3 pots, but is still below where he started. And it's tough sometimes making up ground with these low blinds, I imagine. 1 in 2,000. 2,000 to call now on David Webb.
Raise.
Raise.
And he's going to get aggressive with the pocket fives. 2 plus 4 is 6. It'll triple the bet action.
I got to beat you to it this time.
Webb showing he's not scared to get involved with medium cards.
Absolutely.
4,000 on Brian Johnson for the big blind, who's found cards he likes.
12,000 more, 18 total.
Putting the pressure straight back on.
Call.
Call.
Straight back on David.
Yeah, it was a modestly priced re-raise, priced for a call, I think, and we've got 37,000 in the pot right now. We're going to see a flop. Webb looking for that 5, and he hit it. Oh, this is dastardly.
This has got to be a bit of a dream flop for David Webb here. Brian Johnson's found enough of the flop that he can get involved, and this could be a real test of whether Brian can get away from the hand.
Brian Johnson has just flopped top pair, but Webb's heart must be pumping like a jackhammer.
Raise.
Because he's flopped the 3 5s.
10,000 more, 15 total.
What do you think of that raise? It wasn't too big.
Not too big. It's designed to keep him in. Real test for Brian here. Does he fancy his kicker? Does he think he's strong enough with the ace-queen?
It's a very innocuous flop, isn't it? I mean,
absolutely. It doesn't look like it's going to have hit David too hard. He's just sitting there worried that he's up against ace-king.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good laydown if Brian can get away from the hand here.
It's 10,000 on Brian Johnson to call, and the pot is 67,000 now. It's a big pot, and I don't think Johnson knows where he's at. But a heart might save him. Nope. Jack on the turn.
Check.
That's an even worse card for Brian, because now the 3 hands that he's worried about with
10,000
as an ace here, ace-jack, ace-queen, ace-king, you know, 2 of those are going to be beating him, and 1 of them's going to be splitting. But David's keeping him priced in, only betting him 10,000 into such a big pot. He's going to feel almost compelled to get sucked in with his ace-queen here.
Sure, Johnson's getting about 7 to 1 odds on this pot. But that doesn't mean much odds in a tournament, does it?
No, not at all. You can't reach into your pocket when you've got the odds wrong.
That changed nothing. Third club on board, but 3 5s that David Webb have still good, and he's trying to milk the most out of Brian Johnson. And now Johnson's let out of it.
Call.
It's kind of a stop bet. He didn't want to have to call a big bet from David Webb, and he knows he's unlikely to raise him just in case he's up against a club flush.
So Webb called only on the river, but he's happy to show the winner, and that is a very big pot for David Webb. It has nearly crippled Brian Johnson, but he, as you say, he could have even lost more.
Absolutely. Very difficult for him to get away from it the way that David Webb's played it, but congratulations to David. He's obviously settling in nice and easy, and that's a really good confidence booster to flop a set on your first time you played on televised TV.
First pot for David Webb, and the Canadian from Victoria, who is in this pot in this tournament on a complete free roll, is all of a sudden chip leader with 159,000.
I prefer playing live with people because you can see their faces, you can see how they're reacting to it. Plus, you know, if you beat somebody, it's funner to look at their reaction as you beat them and take them out.
So Webb playing big hands and big bluffs, equally proficient so far. Not only has the chip lead, but has the button. Marina, a new dealer coming into the box, and that means blinds have raised up now. We are 2 and 4,000, and is that going to increase the pace here, Gary?
Yeah, Brian Johnson's back to being under a little bit of pressure with his 50,000 in chips. This is where we're going to start seeing some slightly larger swings in the game, and we'll just see if anyone can catch a couple of big cards.
Pass.
It is 4,000 to call now, passed around to Webb, who has the button. He's not interested, but Gerber looking to take on El Blondie here, small blind versus big blind, and we're going to see a flop. That's Colcloth's hand. Not very good, but it's just, well, he's made a straight draw, Dave has. Action on Stan first, who also has a straight draw, Gary.
Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a classic, he who bets first probably wins the pot, and to be honest, my money's on David. And,
Jones' Law of Poker, rule number 1, bet first wins the pot, and Colcloth sticking 6 into the center there. Action on Gerber now, 6,000 to call.
Pass.
6,000, too much for him to draw at his middle pin straight.
And Stan now has been taken off quite a few pots. Do you think maybe he is missing the ability to bluff? Colcloth, of course, well versed in that area.
Absolutely. David's had a little bit of experience in bluffing pots in his time, and I'm sure he'll get a lot more practice at it in this heat.
Dave Colcloth, of course, has been playing on televised poker tournaments since its inception, and there may be very few people, or no one in the world, who has as good a record as him. But they used to call him the perennial bridesmaid, Gary, for his penchant for coming in second.
Yes, he had a really bad time at it for a while, not able to just cross the finishing line, kept on being pipped by a head.
Call.
But he's managed to break that over the last couple of years. He's really showing that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Zisselman playing the King 6 up front for 4,000, but now Johnson has found Big Slick and has made a pretty good raise of 19,000 total. And what is Webb going to do with this hand? Queen Jack suited. He's got enough to call her.
He's decided to call. He's obviously prepared to mix it up with his chips.
Pass.
He's beaten up on Brian Johnson before. It looks like he's going to try and do it again.
So a flat call behind from David Webb. Action now on Manfredi, who says it's too expensive. And Zisselman, who called the initial bet, not in for the raise. So we are now head up here. Johnson looking to exact some revenge on David Webb.
Absolutely.
And it's come David Webb again. Just not Brian Johnson's night so far.
Absolutely not.
Check.
Check by Brian. And the Western Canadian digs deep here. Top pair.
10,000.
It's actually not that big a bet considering the pot size. Well, Johnson had this figured out from the start, didn't he?
Yeah, he's decided he wants both cards. He's got a chance at hitting a straight and 2 overcards to the board. And,
31,000.